Hi, this is Rook with Mostly Harmless. A couple people were asking about the incredible changes in the armor. 24 new spells that have been introduced in Albion Online. Lots of great changes coming up. Just a couple of quick words. Someone also asked about sponsors and stuff like Mr. Beer Kit in the background, and Dapper Hides, one we're in talks with right now. Sponsorship for us is just about giving stuff away to our members. It's just a couple treats and stuff for everybody that these guys want to give away for a little bit of advertising. So it's a nice relationship. But what you are interested in is the not the nice wallets or the beer kit at the moment. What you want to know about is the changes in the game. There's a lot of cool stuff. Um, I cannot tell you how just testing everything out, we were just so surprised at the many changes, and we can't decide. We're like, oh, we should try this. This is the best. Oh, we should try this, and everything becomes the best. What you want to see in a game for sure. Um, I just have to show you, like this new electric field. Look at that. And then there's a channel ability. Oops, wrong ability. That's a teleport. Um, the root is now no longer on the chest. It is a channeled 4-second ability instead of a 4-second ability that has a cooldown reduction on all the plate chests. Game changing, not to have a root on all these plate chests running around. It was the go-to skill. Now it is not available, and it's only on certain weapons, and that is going to change the game. Of course, everyone knows that the overpower, the AOE effect, which has a possible 900 damage from this one, and that's just a 4.3 in medium armor, so it's got some potential damage there. What I'm going to do is I'd love to show you all the skills here, like this blink is delayed teleport, very cool. That works from line of sight. So you know how with a normal blink you can't go around, like you can't go through this building? This is very different now that basically the blink is line of sight when you cast it, so I can cast it off to the side here, then run up here, and I can juke them around the corner there. So it's pretty good that way. Or not. Oh, I might have to double check that. I was pretty sure it worked earlier on certain corridors, but I'm gonna have to double check that. Maybe it's not working that way at all. Knockback instead of on a chest goes to a helmet. I'm gonna talk you through. Magic has prepared some nice slides. It will show us all the different abilities here. So let's take a look at that. And we'll just work our way through them. So, how have things changed? Big change. Armor makes sense now. Heavy armor is plate. The medium armor is leather, and the light armor is cloth. You want more damage? Go light, go cloth. If you want more tank, go heavy. And a really neat thing is that the heavy varies so that the lowest level of heavy has about 10% more damage, but it's not quite as tanky. The middle level is in between, and the highest level, of course, is more tanky and less damage. Cloth is a bit different, that the lowest level is actually a little bit more tanky, but it only gives a 40% buff to the damage, whereas the highest level is not as tanky, and it gives a 50% bonus to the damage. Medium is in the middle, so while the light gives the most bonuses to healing, damage, CC, the medium is in between. And the highest level, the assassin level, the 0.3, is the one that's going to give you the most damage, whereas the lowest level is going to give you a thing. And sorry, lowest is it's a misnomer, and highest because it's what we used to call 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3. So basically, common materials makes that first level. Sorry, I got to go through this if you're new to the game. 0.2, the uncommon, is going to make that mid-level. And so that's when you find those items out in the world, those resources that have a bit of a green glowy circle around them. And then the ones that are have a blue glowy circle around them are the rare. There's other higher levels. There's mythical, legendary, and things that you can get into it. We'll talk about that another time. But in terms of the basics of what we call 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3, those are the levels. Within each of those, they go up on their own. So tier 4, 5.1, 6.1, and so on. And each of them have a power level at the top. So, and as you go up, they're to rarer stuff, then a lower level is sort of a bit more powerful. But the thing is, with the changes to the game now, every single piece of armor has a potential use. So it's not about getting to that 0.3 and going from there. talking too much. Let's get to the skills that you want to hear about. The skills are still the same, so that there are two skills that are common. So all the helms in the plate line have Stone Skin available or Emergency Heal. So those abilities are still the same. Thanks Magic for putting this together. Thanks Zero for helping with the testing. And so many other people, of course, in the guild that have been involved in this. Nice slides here. The energy shield is available on this, which would be your point 1 line. The block is available on your point 2. This is your uncommon plate, and I think this was called Soldier. I'm not sure. The Guardian is the top one, the point 3, and this one gives you it's a sacrifice move. So I like the block. I like the energy shield. Like this is powerful. Like being able to get your energy back while being damaged is very cool. Energy becomes a big problem in longer term fights. But if people see it, maybe they won't hit you and stuff. Maybe they'll hit somebody else. But that's a good thing too. Block 2 seconds, blocking all incoming damage. Incredible. 20-second cooldown. Nice thing. The sacrifice again, as a guardian type player, being able to run back to your healer and give them a heal is probably amazing. So let's check out the next slide. So the plate chests, the heavy chests, the common ability, and this is common on all chest pieces, is Mend Wounds. Again, only usable not in combat. Never ever use this in the game once you can make soup. As soon as you can make soup or have somebody getting you carrot or cabbage soup or whatever, then you're not going to use this ever again for PvE because it's just you're going to want an actual skill on your chest. But for a new person starting the game, fine, use it. Inferno Shield gives you a nice increase to your resists. I think the icon's a bit different now, and reflects damage back. This is damage after your armor, so it's not a huge number, but it is a good number. It's still worthwhile. Then the unique items to each chest. So this is the lowest line. Notice that as you probably expect, the lighter level of plate, this point 1 line, is a lighter looking armor. It fits. And they already had it built in the game, and the skill fits too. That on a lighter level of armor, you've got this neat bloodlust. This is awesome with a crossbow Q because it lasts for 15 hits, and you've got a 10% bonus to. Does it show it here? It doesn't quite show it here. This has a 10% attack bonus, but also has a 10% heal bonus. So I think I had a 40 was my number for the heal, and then I was getting 45 health with every hit. 15 hits. You do the math. It's a nice heal for yourself while you're PvEing or possibly even PvPing. The wind wall on the chest, 4-second wind wall in front of you. It's sort of there. It maybe disappears after a little bit, but it is a very nice situational spell that's going to allow you to hold the wall while you're casting stuff beyond it or doing some other things to keep your guys safe. You're still getting 5% bonuses in this range. Don't forget the hit points. Notice how they're all the same for these, that these are equivalent power levels. So that's really nice. And the Enfeeble Aura, again, makes sense on a Guardian that they would have something like that. And the bulky heavy armor there. So this is the tankiest level of armor. So, and that used to be on the medium line, the leather line. I really like it on the heavy line, though. I think it makes sense. For the boots, common to all boots, no matter what line you're in, is the Flee. Incredible gathering spell. It decreases your max load, and you've got a nice run speed buff for 8 seconds. It's just amazing. Really neat addition to the game. Made a lot of gatherers very happy, I'm sure. Long cooldown, and you're silenced, so you don't want to use it in PvP much. Now, the Rejuvenating Sprint, it's not a very big heal, 100 health, but you are moving faster. So 20-second cooldown, so that's decent. Not my personal favorite, but look at some of these. Sprint Shield, a shield that can absorb 117 damage. Now, if that's before your armor takes effect, it's really nothing. But you do run faster for 8 seconds if your shield is up and your move speed's only increased by 50%. Probably not going to pick those boots. Sorry, but it just doesn't cut it for me just yet. Shield Charge, though. Charge towards a target ally or enemy. After the charge, you apply a shield on yourself and allies in close proximity. Think Lee Sin. You've got this basically amazing ability to jump to friends, and you put a shield over them, a nice shield that lasts for a long time. 30-second cooldown, but nice range on it, very powerful. As an engage or a disengage, and to heal your guys. Giant could be a lifesaver that you basically grow and get increase your max and current hit points by 50%. So could again save you if your current hit points are quite low though, then it's not going to be a lifesaver that time. So it's really going to be situational as to when you use that, but it's a neat, and it could fool people too when you're using a giant hammer as well, that they might think, oh no, he's done his giant hammer move. I'm not sure what the use for that is, but if I figure something out, post a comment in the video, let us know. Um, let's get on a medium helm. So this is your leather. It's all leather now. Meditation, still an amazing skill. I don't think that cooldown's quite right anymore. I thought it was like, I'll have to double check. And maybe it's just because it's reduced, because when you use meditation, you knock 10 seconds off your cooldown. So it says greatly increases cooldown reduction for 1 second. I don't care for the way it's worded there, but it's basically a 10-second cooldown reduction is what it amounts to at the moment. That number might change, and maybe that's why they worded it that way. So that makes sense. The cleanse that's available in all the helms removes any movement impairing effects on you. I have to test that more. Oh wow, yeah, they've changed that. Okay, so that used to be on the plate helm, but now with the medium, they're giving you that mobility and stuff, and yeah, that could be really good. The howl is just on the .1 line, so that's a unique skill to that. It deals a bit of damage. It works in a cone in front of you. Tried it a little bit. Didn't care for it just yet, but I think I just wasn't used to it and didn't have a good wombo combo that I was doing with it and stuff. The bear trap, a lot of people like that. It's the old kind of caltrops. It's a huge slow and does decent damage and stuff. So it's a really good ability. Again, situational. Do you have a way to charge into them to apply that? You're going to want to have some way to close the gap to get that on them right away. Smoke bomb. I should have showed you that on the other screen there, because the smoke bomb is the bomb. It everybody in that 6 meter radius, and it's a big radius, is silenced, including yourself. But skills that you've used on yourself already still take effect. So think like that medium leather, the radius around you where it's electric field, that still will work, or like the giant slow will still work. So there's some neat combos there where you could still be doing some damage, and people can rain down damage from outside. So I think you can see where I'm going with that, with the slows and stuff. However, if you try to channel like a battle axe spin or a quarterstaff spin, it will break immediately as soon as it enters it. So that is good for stopping those kind of channeled or so-called channeled skills. So 1 minute cooldown. And the nice thing as a gatherer, holy smoke, you can just pop it down, mount on your horse, and get out of there. So very, very good skill. And long cooldown, and I like that because it's kind of like, oh wow, this is a no-brainer kind of skill in a lot of situations, but it's got a long cooldown. I think I'd rather have a couple bear traps instead, maybe, so, or meditation even to reduce cooldowns of other skills, all my other skills. Let's look at the medium chest now. So the mend wounds, of course, the electric field, sorry, it's a different icon, you saw it there. It's a huge amount of damage, but it's a 1 minute cooldown. So again, there's that trade-off. Oh, I got this great skill, but I can't use it for another minute. But I really like it at the moment. And it kind of, I was using something with like a dash. I think it was a spear. And so I had that spear AoE to go in, or maybe it was something with a stun, and I was charging in with a stun, hitting them, and I felt like a Moo in League of Legends, that I had that damage around me. It wasn't tons, but it's enough, and you're just sort of slowing people a bit with some other abilities, and it felt like a neat combination, or potential combination. Fury. So down here we've got Fury. That's a 10% damage bonus every time you get damaged. Can be stacked up to 8 times. So potentially a huge damage bonus. You'll see this red sort of glow for this and a Berserker skill that goes on a person. Both have a 40-second cooldown. One's on a medium chest, one's on a light chest. And so it's going to give you a big increase to damage, but they both work very differently. Haste. mobility has totally changed in the game. I haven't talked about any mobility skills on any items so far, except what you saw with the boots and stuff. But so this is one of the few abilities that's not on a weapon or on your boots that still has mobility. So could be really important to a lot of people, but it's a 30-second cooldown and it's only a boost for about 8 seconds. So it's good. It might be very important to a number of highly mobile or people that want to be very mobile. Ambush. This is a potentially good skill. I don't know. You turn invisible for 5 seconds, 20% reduced move speed. So you're not going to be running up to somebody. Attacking or spell activation breaks the invisibility. The first skill or spell used there, the invisibility deals more damage. So basically, the longer you stay invisible, the more damage you're going to do. If anybody goes invisible, run. Just move away somewhere else because they're moving really slowly towards you. So, and I think that's my problem with it is they're moving slowly towards you, so they can't use a hammer or axe or whatever, and they can try and use a crossbow bolt to do some more damage. But a 50% damage buff to that, well, maybe I should just be wearing light anyways and get my damage buff that way. So I won't be using that one myself. It's a neat idea, but it's that length of time when I'm moving slowly and I can't do stuff that doesn't appeal to me at the moment. Medium Jordans. Magic's, yeah, nice. So the refreshing sprint increases your move speed and reduces your cooldown slightly. So uh, not a surprise, but the leather, the medium sets have mobility and they have sort of the cooldown reduction type stuff. So neat that it says reduces your cooldown slightly. At the moment, that's about 5 seconds it'll take off your cooldowns. And it'll apply to those boots, so you can use them again in about 15 seconds. So pretty neat skill. I certainly like it. And then these boots, of course, you could add another 2.5% speed or whatever else you want on them. Now, in terms of individual skills, interesting to note that you would possibly have no mobility skills on your build with some of these things. Like, look at these boots. Depending on what your medium armor, your chest piece and your head piece is, unless it's that one leather piece that gives you a speed buff, you're going to have no mobility with this build. What you have instead is you can turn invisible, so it's another invisibility skill that's available. Reveal all invisible targets in 11-meter radius around you. You stay invisible as long as you keep channeling up to 15 seconds. Now, it's a 1-minute cooldown, but 15 seconds invisible as maybe a scout or maybe even as an entire group that you're all just waiting there to gank somebody. It could change the game a bit if you're going down the road and you just sort of you hear somebody coming, you pop that and then you decide what you're going to do after that. Let me know too if you find any way to use that invisibility with the ambush invisibility, or if you find a way that's good to use that ambush invisibility as to how to make that work better for me. I'd really like to know how to make it work because I just don't feel it just yet. So the rush was there before, a very nice speed boost. And then on the assassin level, that 0.3 level, the dodge. Dodge roll to the cursor's position. You are invincible during the roll, and after the roll, your move speed is increased by 40% for 4 seconds. 20-second cooldown. Incredible skill. I don't know if it's OP just yet, but I'm having to choose. I'm like, well, I want the cooldown reduction. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a skill that could save my life from a crossbow bolt or a warbow stun or whatever else or even easier is like those fireballs and crossbow snipe shots. You can see a big long red arrow going towards you, and you see it for like several seconds while they channel the skill. And now I can just hit dodge to get not only out of the way of it, well, not out of the way, but basically invulnerable when it goes off. That could be a go-to skill. Um, I don't know if it. I don't know if other skills could be made like that too. Like a couple of the boots that maybe aren't quite as good. Maybe they get a dodge that's got a longer run speed and maybe not invincible, but you take half damage for like a second or whatever. Like I just think there could be a few more that are like that, so that people aren't all choosing that one because that's a really nice skill, and I think it adds a much higher level of skilled gameplay to the game. Having to dodge things is cool. Let's get into the light armor here. Um, the energy regain. So this is something that seems just incredible to me that you could basically regain energy for other people around you and stuff. I don't know if I have this all right. That I don't know if this has just changed. Maybe I can check here. check my Destiny board here. So I've unlocked a couple things in the game. Still working on some of my staffs, but let's look at the light helm. So there's this is Scholar Cowl, there's Cleric, and then Mage is the top level. But anyways, it's the same skills on all of them. Yeah, channeled spell that replenishes energy greatly. So that's just for you. It's not for other people around you. Sorry, that's old. So forget that part. But the force field is now, instead of on a chest piece for light, it's on the headpiece. So incredible. You could ping pong people away with a few people having this on their headpiece. It's a really, really useful skill. The range almost seems to be back to its earlier range back several months ago. It seems fairly far. But again, this is early. This is the first iteration. Well, it's like the 45th one, but it's what's there right now, and the developers are tweaking things. So, disruption immunity. So these are the individual skills that you won't be pushed back by any damage at all for 10 seconds. Hard interrupts will still cancel your cast. So all those crossbow Q skills that are hitting you, or other just daggers that are chopping away at you, you won't get that pushback, so you'll be able to get some skills off. So please let me know where you would use this most. Would you use this most as a holy staff healer, or would you use it more with some of the fire mage stuff that have the long cast? I'm not sure. Ice block. Again, this used to be a chest piece skill. It's now on the headpiece. Cleanses all negative effects, invulnerable to damage. Hugely popular for PvE. It's just a really useful skill, and if used in smart ways, where you take the aggro ice block and give your guys about almost 8 seconds or 6 seconds of whatever it is of where you're taking aggro, but mobs don't hurt you, and then you hit them with some other skills. So really, really useful. Kind of a no-brainer, like the knockback, that they're very useful. The poison, it's a decent amount of damage. I don't know that I would use it though over some of these other skills. That I guess maybe if I was doing more damage, maybe if the cooldown was 25 seconds, then I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm considering that. But it's not enough damage that I'm gonna throw away force field or ice block if I'm going for that helm. I don't think. So the vest, so the chest piece there. Again, same as all of them. Sorry, wrong icon there. The Frost Shield is the common ability on all of these. Kind of neat, because you could wear this if you're like running around with a scythe or daggers and light. You could use it. It increases your resist. It's like your own little stone skin. Enemies that attack you are slowed down. That might give you a chance to slow people down. And 10% of incoming damage is reflected back to the enemies. So I might have to check that versus the heavy to see, and let me know if you check that. How much damage does that reflect back compared to the heavy Inferno Shield? Is this 10% of the incoming damage as the raw damage, or is it after your armor has applied? Just curious. Speedcaster. Now, this doubles your cast speed for 8 seconds, but reduces the power of your spells by 0. I don't know what's correct, if it is a 20% damage debuff, if Magic's tested that again recently, but sorry, talking a lot today. But that looks like that's there. Everlasting Spirit, just again, Speedcaster's good. Everlasting Spirit's really good. If your hit points drop below 30%, invulnerable, 3 seconds, and your damage is increased. That's awesome. That would be a lot of fun. In testing, it looked like if you got hit with a big enough spike, you're just dead. You're not invulnerable for 3 seconds. You're just dead. But if you get down to 25%, now you're invulnerable for those 3 seconds. Certainly more than enough time that someone with a heal or arcane staff should be able to help you out. Berserker. Damage is increased for 5%. And then, of course, if you're lower on health, you get a bigger bonus. Up to 100%, it says. It's just an insane bonus to skills, potentially. Your light kicks there, flee still, energetic sprint. This is basically your almost free. Actually, I think all the boot skills were free, weren't they? Yeah, that was one of the changes too. Let me just double check. But energy cost 0. Yep. Oh, dodges. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I might have to look at that some more because I was, saying some of the boots are bad, but this is 0 energy, whereas this is 35. So, okay, I take some of the stuff I said back. I'm just not sure what yet. Um, oh yeah, look at some of these skills. So that one gives you energy back. It's basically mana neutral. 20-second cooldown. So good potential skill. Um, the traveling one that used to be on all the boots and stuff. Yeah, whatever. I would personally use it, but it's probably it's probably no, it's cost 26. Excuse me. Blink. This is the blink that used to be on the chest. Um, so you can't blink, run, defenseless rush. You can't have all those things stacking together. Game changer to have a blink just on your boots and not be able to then do a sprint. So I think that's a huge change. I think it's cool, and but it's an important one, and how you're going to use that. Um, Let me just finish it up here before I lose my voice. The delayed teleport. Choose a ground target. I just showed you that on the screen. It can be a really far away point. I'll do some more testing and let me know if you guys figure this out first. But I was pretty sure I was able to go around the corner of a house pretty easily there the other day. So, and that the line of sight was based on where you originally cast the spell. So I'll double check that. And please let me know what else you see, what's neat, what we should be trying and testing, what we can pass on to the developers. We're months away from launch. It's not a rush. We don't share things close to launch as much, but this far out, let's share it. Let's figure out the game. Let's improve the game and help the developers make this great game where there's so many fantastic combinations. We don't know how they're all going to work together, and that's exciting. It's exciting that we're all like, "Ooh, I wonder about this. I wonder about that," and how all of these cards, these pieces will fit together. This is Rook with Mostly Harmless, and we'll see you out on the battlefield.